guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dajah and we are getting started on our third week of our college series. This is a collaboration. I always get that wrong. This is a collaboration with Dajah Nay. Before I get started, I just want to thank you guys for supporting us, liking the videos, watching it, and yeah, the first week was managing classes, staying focused. Week number 2 was about social life. So this week I kind of want to like switch it up just a little bit, kind of get a little personal, I guess. This has been like something big for me, especially like this semester, even since freshman year, but now it's like really big to me. I didn't think about this topic literally until like last week. It wasn't really a part of the plan, but I kind of want to switch it up a little bit. So this topic is basically about being a Christian in college. Give a little background about me and why like this topic will be important to me personally. So growing up, my granddad was a pastor. My uncle is my current pastor. So you know, I'm kind of like in that family. Like my family is very, I wouldn't say my family is very religious. I don't want like, because people get a certain type of idea when you say, oh, I have a religious family. Yes, my family is religious. You know, we put God first. Like every decision we make, God is on our mind. However, I'm still a person. Like I'm still human. Like I'm still me, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so every single Sunday I go to church. You know, especially, well, back home, that's how it was me growing up. Like, and it wasn't a drag to me, you know, like some people like, oh, I gotta go to church on Sunday. I was like, oh, going to church. Like it became like, it's a part of my lifestyle, so it didn't feel like a drag, it didn't feel like a job. Like this was my life. So you know, I've gotten so accustomed to going to church every Sunday that like on Sundays that I don't go to church, I'm like, what do I do with my life? Like maybe like, oh, all the years I may not go to church like once or twice the whole entire year, maybe. And like I would have to be like very, very sick or on vacation. Besides that, I'll be at church. It's just my lifestyle. So Baptist. So yeah, I was singing in the choir, the drill team, praise dance. Right now, I'm actually like a praise dance leader. You know, I have my own little group of girls now. They're the Greater Mount Angels. So that's back home in Houston. So you know, I'm very involved. You know, do community service in my church. You know, I'm kind of helping with like I guess like the programs and event coordinating and stuff like that. I help a lot with the youth, so you know, I'm very involved in my church. So that's a little personal background on me as far as like, you know, me within my faith. I didn't really get close to God maybe until my junior year of high school, and I mean like having a real genuine relationship with him. I've noticed like until my junior year of high school, I was always at church, but I wasn't really like in it, like my spirit wasn't in it. I went to like this conference that was in Houston, and just seeing a lot of people my age at that time like be so excited about worshiping God, I was just like, oh my gosh, like wow, there's a lot of people out there that like me, da 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 da. So that kind of encouraged me to like not be afraid to have a real relationship. It's not hard being a Christian in college, unless you're weak-minded. Let me say it like that. It's not hard being a Christian unless you're easily influenced. It's not hard being a Christian unless you're not mindful of your environment and who you choose to hang around. It's not hard being a Christian unless you're not mindful of like your friend group. If you hang around friends that don't go to church, that don't, you know, stay consistent with their relationship with God, you're gonna fall off just as well. It's not hard being a Christian in college unless you're not mindful of the guys you keep around as well, or the girls if this is a guy watching. You know, that significant other or whatever, if they don't have a relationship with God, then yeah. I've seen so many Christian kids come into college and fall so far off their faith. Like I would see and I'd be like, like what encouraged, I guess, you to become that way? I've had plenty of conversations with different Christian people that you know, they grew up in the church just like me, went every Sunday just like me, you know, had the same, I guess, upbringing, and then they get to college and they could care less. Like they'll be like, I'm not going to church on Sunday, you're not going to talk me into going to church, I just don't want to go, I don't care to go. And you know, they start falling, or they start getting habits that's very easy to get in college, and they kind of fall into a different lifestyle that has 0 ounce of God in it. So, you know, I've seen a lot of Christian people not necessarily lose their faith, but lose themselves in a certain lifestyle that is just so popular in college. You know, they don't pray like they used to, they don't read like they used to, they don't study like they used to, they don't fast like they used to. They start to pick up those habits that, you know, they weren't picking up before college. So there are plenty of reasons why it's easy to get caught up in college. One is access. College doesn't have like an age limit, I guess, so it's not hard to get access to things that you may not have been able to get access to back home or in your parents' home or whatever. So access is just not hard to get stuff. Reason number 2 is because you can. Like, a lot of people do things simply because they can, you know, like, why not? Why not? And reason number 3 is because you don't have an authority telling you no. I don't have, you know, my mother telling me, no, you can't do this when I am 200 to 300 miles away. So, you know, she can tell me no over the phone. This doesn't happen, just in case anyone's my mom's watching or anything. This doesn't happen, but if I were to ask my mom, can I do something? She says no. She's not gonna know if I'm doing it or not. You know, I can still do it without her knowledge or whatever. So, I mean, you don't really necessarily have no one tell you no. In college, you can literally do whatever you want without any consequences. Of course, that's if you don't get caught. Those are just a few of many reasons why it's so easy to like lose yourself and lose your relationship with God. Me personally, freshman year, I wouldn't say I lost myself, but I could tell that, you know, my transition, you know, my junior year in high school, where I stood in my faith, it was not the same freshman year in college. Like, God was on my mind. However, I guess you could say I picked up habits. I wasn't consistent like I used to be. I wasn't going to church every Sunday. So, you know, it was like, God is on your mind, but you kind of like, he's back there. He's not a priority. That's what I'm saying. You know, for like Christian people that, you know, we really grew up in the church, you know, he was a priority. He was always on our mind. But like, when we get to college, it's just like, there's boys and friends, and then there's parties, and then there's school, and then there's this, and then there's that. And it's just like, it's not like you don't have, people, I guess you could say, have an excuse of not having time for him. But it's just like, he just goes further back and back. He's not really that big of a priority as he should be. So going into college, I thought I had the strength to say no. I would never forget telling myself like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, this is not gonna happen, da 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 da. And then I would catch myself doing it, and I'm just like, wow. I was weak-minded freshman year. You know, me personally, I use the excuse of, you know, I'm in college, I'm young, I'm learning, I'm experiencing life, you know, I'm away from home, like, I'm fine, you know. But I was giving myself excuses to justify things I knew that I would not be doing if I was back home. So going back to freshman year, I picked up a lot of bad habits. I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of things have happened to me, or a lot of things that I've done that literally nobody knows. Nobody. Maybe Alexis. Maybe, okay, but my close girlfriends in Jesus. Like things, college things that has happened to me. If you are in college or before you go to college, just know that, you know, when you make these mistakes, I used to beat myself over it. That was before, like, I kind of just not only forgive, like, I've learned about forgiving myself on things. I'm not saying do it, you know, it's okay to do it or whatever, but I'm saying if you do fall into a habit of doing things, you know, just repent. Things I've done freshman year, I look at it as a learning experience so I can know, like, what not to do and why not to do those things, and what would happen if I were to do those things. So, you know, if you do get into a habit of things, just look at it as a learning experience. God has already forgiven you, but you just have to really forgive yourself. That was a really big problem I had. I did not know how to forgive myself on a lot of things that I've done, but I've let it go, and I've just moved on with life, and I've learned from it. And, you know, sophomore year Dajah, it's not freshman year Dajah. At the beginning, when I first got into college, I was very distracted. you know, it's just people and parties and just a whole new world introduced, because I didn't go to parties in high school. I didn't go out in high school. I was not fooling people. I had my little group of friends. We barely hung out. We were just really like real chill people. So when I got here, you know, and I had the access and I did it because, you know, you could do it or whatever, you know, I've put myself out there, and you know, so I got very distracted on those things. If that's you right now, it's okay, you know. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it, because you know, everyone becomes curious, you know, when you get to college or whatever. If that is you right now, the only thing I can say is just don't lose yourself in that lifestyle. Don't drown yourself in that lifestyle. It shouldn't be a balance. It shouldn't be 50% having this lifestyle, 50% God. There's no such thing as a balance. You cannot balance that certain college lifestyle with a relationship with God. It's just not going to happen, because it's two different things. It's just a big contradiction. It can't balance out at all. Just don't lose yourself in something so temporary. You know, you're going to be in college 4 or 5 years. Don't let that mess up your whole entire life and mess up, you know, the relationship that you've been building with God. And most of the time people do it not necessarily to impress other people, but just to kind of stay, you know, in interaction with other people, you know, our peers, our friends and stuff like that, because you know, everyone else is doing it. But just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. So since college, my relationship with God is so much stronger. That is going to happen. And it's like, college teaches you, like, you have no choice, but like, God is the only one you got. It honestly, truly, he's the only one that's going to look out for you the way you need to be looked out for. He's the only one you completely need. And it was probably like it was probably second semester freshman year when things started to slow down and life started to happen, and I couldn't run home to mom because, you know, I'm 200-300 miles away, when I was having, you know, friendship problems and the car accident from last year and boy problems and serious family problems. I had no choice but to literally submit to him and, you know, and pray about it and stuff like that. So one thing that college do is it teaches you the hard way to depend on God, to be honest. I've learned a lot of things the hard way. I've been a lot of things, and it taught me how to pray harder. It taught me how to study harder. It taught me how to just, my relationship is definitely stronger than ever, because I look at, you know, my freshman year, even, you know, sophomore year, I look at that as a season that I go through. You know, although I do a lot of things that I shouldn't, or I've done things that I shouldn't. I've went through those seasons and I've got distracted. I've been through all of that or whatever. You know, I depend on him way more now. You're gonna bump your head a few times, and because of all of that, I know better. I know better. So I don't have like a big 5-step thing to tell you like I do with all the other videos. The only 3 things I can honestly say that I've been following and that I've noticed as far as like maintaining a relationship with God while being in college, or I guess gaining a relationship with God while being in college. One is definitely staying consistent. You know, last year or first semester, it was just every Sunday for me. But you know, you can't do college Monday through Saturday, God on Sunday. Like that's what I'm saying. That balance, that's not a balance or whatever. Try to get him in your daily life. For me, I'm working on Wednesdays and Sundays, even though I've been doing that back at home. Eventually I want to do every day, just to kind of keep him on my mind so I can stay on the right track. 2 is stay connected with him. That's the thing. In college, you can definitely lose your connection, and that's just basically based off of distractions and priorities and stuff. Talk to him daily, pray daily, study daily, and if you don't even do it daily, at least, you know, 2 to 3 times out the week. So, you know, you can get in the habit of every decision that you make, it will be based off of God. If you're not at home, you know, if you're in a different city or a different state, definitely find like a church home. I am literally like so in love with the church home I found. I love it so much. It is so cute. It's different than home, but I really do like it. So I'm glad that I found a new church home that I can go to. on Sundays and even Wednesdays, and even, you know, on campus, if you have any on-campus Christian organizations. Freshman year I was a part of a few, or I went to a few of their little Bible study sessions, like literally throughout the day. Like in between classes I'll fit an hour in with them, which I thought was really cool, but I don't do that anymore. Yeah, I know, I should get back into that. Even if you can't physically drive there, if you don't have a car, whatever it is, don't let that be an excuse. They have online services too. Try not to be so, well, you're not supposed to try, well, you're not supposed to be a part of the world at all, but try not to be a part of the world. And I guess in this case, try not to be so engaged in the society in college, I guess you can say, or everyone else. That's like a way of getting lost into it because you want to try to keep up with what everyone else is doing. You don't have to do that. I did that stuff last year. I tried to keep up with everybody and what they were doing and where they were going and who trying to impress people, and you know who they're with and what they do, and catching on to their habits. You don't have to do that. Try to separate yourself. It may feel, you know, I'm not going to say lonely, or you may not feel like you're a part of, you know, everyone else. May not feel like the cool person or whoever everyone else is trying to be, whatever image everyone else is trying to give off. You don't have to fit that image. That's not an image made for you in the first place. So don't try to be so focused on, you know, fitting in with everybody else. So kind of distance yourself. Don't go to every party. Now I know it's weird because I was talking about parties. I was like, it's okay to go to parties. I mean, as far as like social aspect, not necessarily as far as, you know, partying. But yeah, don't go to every party. Don't go to every scene there is. Every scene is not for you. A lot of parties that I don't go to simply because you're not gonna catch me there. I know I shouldn't be there, so don't even ask me if I'm going. So just don't go to every scene. Don't force yourself to try to be a part of all those movements, all those scenes, that's not for you. Don't devote so much of yourself to social media. I'm noticing that, like, I'm at the point where I can delete Twitter, to be honest. I'm at that point. You know, you see what a lot of people are doing on Twitter, you see what a lot of people are doing on Snapchat, and it's a huge distraction. Big distraction. I'm at the point where I just I don't really care about Twitter anymore. You know, we focus so much, you know, on everyone else, so that is a great big distraction. I'm actually like giving up Twitter for Lent because I'm just like, I cannot do this right now. Like it takes over you, to be honest. It's very addictive. And if you don't have any Christian friends, you need to get yourself some Christian friends so you can kind of stay on track with God or whatever. Christian friends, you know, like my best friend, me and her involve God literally in everything, because there'll be times where, you know, I'll let my attitude take over. There'll be times where you know, I'll be in a situation and my friend will be like, well, you gotta handle it with grace, or well, you gotta be a Christian about it, and da 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 da. So make sure you have friends that kind of incorporate God in your everyday decision making process. That was weird, but yeah, make sure you have friends that, you know, that has God on their mind too, has God as a priority. Because if you don't, then I mean, you're just living life, you're not living for Him. You know, once you kind of follow that, it becomes easier to not get caught up in that type of life. You kind of see different lifestyles that you don't want to be a part of, you don't want to live, you know. At first it seems exciting, but once you see the bad in it, because there's bad in that, once you see all of that, it's not an interest anymore. You know, and you want to separate yourself from it, because you know that's just not something, you know. God will let you learn the hard way about, you know, certain lifestyle when it comes to college. Because I definitely know I've learned the hard way. And now, you know, certain things that interest me last year just doesn't interest me anymore. And once you kind of separate yourself from that lifestyle, people will notice that. And people will look at you differently. And people will treat you differently. Still go out every now and then. I still see people. I still have fun. I've slowed down a lot. and I'm still happy. I'm still having a great life. I'm having fun. I'm still in college, so you know, you don't have to, you know, feel like you have to be a part of this, because it's not what you think it is. It's not what it seems. So that's all I have to say. I would really like for you guys to comment on this video, particularly and how you feel about being a Christian in college and stuff like that, and maybe we can talk about it more. So yes, I will definitely put Dajah's video of the week down below this video. Subscribe to my channel. I would love more subscribers. I will definitely see you guys next week. Bye.